Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's another lovely time to come discuss about development in the Niger Delta. And my name is Charles Nwahiwe, and the question is, how do you select projects for community development projects? Yeah, so how do you get to prioritize projects? How do you get to rank the projects? How do you give the community the projects that actually meet their needs? You are welcome once again. Thank you for joining us. I am Charles Nwahiwe, and I have my team from Neokecci Multi-Concepts here with me, and we are talking about development in communities in the Niger Delta. Wherever you are highly welcome. So I'd like to bring on my colleague Ernest, and the big question we are asking this afternoon that we want to provide answers based on the experience we have had in the field. And by the way, if you've not seen our previous videos, you can check here the link below in the description of this video. You'll be able to find link to our previous videos where we talked about how you can really get started with the GMoU model. And of course, on the last edition of these videos, this series, we talked about how you can be able to get into community empowerment in the area of giving capacity to the drivers of community development. So on this video, we are looking at, so you have given capacity training, you have given capacity development, and the question now is, how do you give the community the projects that really meet the needs of the community? So I want to bring my colleague Ernest on board. Ernest, talk to us. Yeah, we all have been to the communities who have discussed this. So share with our viewers how we go about this process.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good day. Talking about development in the Niger Delta, in the Niger communities, there is one recurrent problem in the choice of projects. Oftentimes, when you go to these communities, you find out that there are some projects that sometimes in a very bad situation, they were not even used at all. Why? Because such projects do not actually reflect the needs of the people and what they actually want at that particular point in time. So why this problem? Why this problem? We have been to some communities. We've seen, for example, one of those communities we went to some time ago. A particular women development center was never used, but has actually dilapidated. And why that? One major reason is simply because these community members are not consulted during the process of executing that project. In other words, they were not actually asked if they need that project or not. So when that is the situation, what happens? Projects are executed that the people don't actually have need for. So how do we overcome this challenge? Through the GMoU model, what we try to do is to engage community members through what we call sustainable livelihood assessment. So when we say sustainable livelihood assessment, as the name implies, or as the different words imply, we actually try to look at the livelihood of the people. How do they live? What is their occupation? What are those things that they actually have, the infrastructure they already have in place? So those kind of things we look at help us to actually bring out what the people actually need. And in the process of actually looking at what the community has, we also have what we call needs assessment. In this process, we try to make sure that each community group, the stakeholders, actually play a part in the choice of projects. So this is actually the rough, the very foundation on which this project selection and mechanism is built. The people are consulted, no one is sidelined, no group is sidelined. The women group, the youth group, the men, the elders, the CDC, the city or CDB as the case may be, everyone put together to make sure that they actually have an impact in the selection of the projects.
Okay, thank you very much, Ernest. And that was exactly the process that we take through to be able to get the projects on board. Now, having talked about how these projects are executed, having talked about the process that is being used, the next thing that someone may want to find out is these projects that are being selected, do they actually meet the needs of the community? Were the community in agreement? Did everybody agree on the process of selection? And eventually, the community themselves, when they are given the right projects, do they actually benefit? Does it meet the need of development? So that's what we want to really tie up, having given the first part of the response. So can you tie up the other end of it so that we can quickly be able to have a hands-on grip on the selection process, gathering the people together, having a sustainable livelihood assessment process, having a transect work, and then being able to deliver development to the communities?
Okay, so the first step is actually to engage the community. And how do we carry out this engagement? We know very well that there are different vested interests in the communities, and every particular group wants its own interest to override that. So what do we do to avoid this kind of problem where a particular group tries to outshine the other or sideline the other? We just need to make sure that in that engagement, all groups are represented. The women group, like I said earlier, the youths, the men, the elders, and every other group that make up the community. Right there in that meeting, they all suggest their different challenges and how those challenges can be tackled, thereby suggesting projects that they want. So when we have this cluster of projects, so many of them, what we now do is to say pairwise ranking, to rank each of those projects to make sure that the most pressing ones are the ones that are actually carried out. So how do we do this ranking? We talk with the people like you can see on the screen. They suggest, they give their responses on what they actually need, and we take them one after the other. And sometimes you can put it in a voice vote to say, okay, this is what they need. So apart from actually what they need, we also have this study of the occupation or the livelihood systems that are readily available in the community. What do the people do? Are they farmers? Are they fishermen? Are they into logging and so many things? So all those ones form part of what they actually need. And at the end of it, like you can see on the screen, we come up with what we call the needs assessment. So after they have said all this, we don't just take the words of the people to just say, okay, this is all and all. We try to complement it by having physical verification of those needs. Like you can see on the screen, there's something called transit. We move around the community, know the community, own the project, trying to understand that, yes, this is what the people need. So through the transit work, we are shown the extent to which they actually need this project. And from there, we can now say, okay, yes, this is actually what the people want. And at the end of all this, we find out that there's no conflict, there's no problem, there's no issues of communal clashes, because everyone have agreed to say, this is what we actually need. And apart from this, we have sometimes, you know very well that women are mostly disadvantaged in these rural communities. The maxim is more like they should be seen and not heard. What do we do? There's a special fund set aside for women development. And what that we now give them the opportunity to choose the projects that will be tied to developing their own capacity. Then at the end of it, we now see all these projects being rolled out. Everyone is happy. No one is angry of having some neglect, but we have everybody happy on the same page.
Okay,
so like the classroom block, this is also I think a teacher's quarters, and in so many of these different communities, a science laboratory block in one of those communities, and all of them, the people agree to say, this is what we want. And with this particular pattern, there's no conflict. There's no conflict over projects and choices of projects, because everyone has come to agreement to say, this is what we want.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us that background. So basically, the GMoU model, the global memorandum of understanding that oil majors like SPDC use to deliver the development in the communities where they operate, is basically a process of development by the people for the people. Yeah, so like my colleague have just said, it's just a simple process. Get everybody together in a town hall meeting, and we are able to have the men group, have the women group, have the youth group, have the elders, and everybody is everybody's view from these different groups are harnessed together and they are pulled together. And basically what now comes out will be the entire community's opinion about the project that they want for their development. And by so doing, like my colleague Ernest have said, we are able to actually pinpoint the projects that are a top priority for that community. Sometimes there could be several projects that may not have, it doesn't have to be uniform, but because it is done together, because everybody has a view, and then it is ranked. So the project that ranked tops becomes the choice of everybody, becomes the general choice. And by so doing, this is how the projects are actually delivered by the community for themselves. So that is the process of selection of projects. And that's what we've just been talking about today. And that's how GMoU works, Global Memorandum of Understanding. That's the process it works. So we hope that we've been able to share some information that is quite helpful to you today. Are there other things you would like to know when it comes to how development is delivered in the rural communities in the Niger Delta, how community development projects are delivered? If there are, you can drop your comments in the comment section and we'll be able to address them in upcoming videos. Of course, you need to be sure when new videos drop that you are aware. So just go ahead and click subscribe button. Yeah, the link is down below in the description box. Click subscribe button so that you'll be the first to know when new videos drop. Community development projects, yes, it is for everybody, for the community, by the community. So we are happy to have been able to talk with you today. So it's bye from us from here. We hope you will join us in the next video. Click subscribe so you will know when the next video drop. It's bye from us from here for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.